Well, Chris, obviously you've known, Lance ever since you got here. So I guess that's about 13, 14 years. Just kind of like what's your reaction about today's announcement?
I don't know. It's mixed emotions. Obviously happy for Lance and his wife and his family that spent a lot of years coaching a lot of people, a lot of time and effort over those years. And so you always celebrate the fact that, hey, they're going to spend more time with family. And I think it was time for him. He made that decision. It's time. So obviously happy for the family and Lance, the way he's going out, winning the way he is and everything. It's kind of storybook, right? I mean, it's just, hopefully a nice, soft, perfect landing. But also I'm going to miss coaching him. I'm going to miss him. Spent a lot of time together on trips, talking about our teams and different things. And, I'll always be incredibly indebted to Lance because from day one he put his arm around me in a tough situation, taking over in this job. And, he just gave me a lot of confidence and that I could do it and was really, really supportive and a great friend.
What do you think about Lance has made him such a successful coach?
I think a bunch of things. Number one, just his demeanor, his body language, confident in what he was doing all the time. Confident in when I've seen a lot of the workouts and how he talks to the kids. Those kids pick up on that and they emulate the head coach. And so I think that's one of the things he's done a phenomenal job with. It's just his knowledge of the sport, knowledge of physiology and psychology, and the fact that, he blended that together. Didn't necessarily coach by the book. He did his own thing and has turned out some phenomenal athletes and teams. And so I think that rubbed off on the athletes. And I think that number one. And number two, he's a great recruiter. He knows who to recruit, can identify those kids that he thinks are going to be blue chip athletes for him at the highest level. And he works awfully hard at it. And so I think those things right there, just his persona and his recruiting ability, that's a 1-2 punch right there that's hard to beat.
Ask one more. What do you think about Chris taking over after Lance steps down?
Yeah, Chris is a winner, and he knows how to win. He just has had a tremendous success wherever he was at, and I think that's really the key when you look at how do you make a prediction at the next level, and that comes by success at Penn State, that comes at success here at Arkansas when you can do it in two big places, two different totally environments, two different leagues, and have that same amount of success. And then you see the resources that he has here and how he's elevated, an already good sprint program to literally the best. Makes it an easy pick. So it's just I just look at that. I just look at that. He's been at two different places and has done a tremendous job. So.
Isn't the big key to being a head track coach is how to delegate and how to, or you have like your basically 3 head coaches in the program, but 1 in charge of managing.
Yeah, so that's always the hard part. I think he's had a great example from Lance on how to get that done. But you still have to operate as a team, and those things you can only learn by ultimately sitting in that chair. But he's had great mentorship. He's been around a lot of head coaches, and I think he's going to handle it in flying colors. But you're right, Nate. It's that it's not just the coaching ability. It's not just the recruiting. It's managing different personalities, different coaching personalities, and blending it together. And I think he'll do a great job at that.
Plus, a big challenge for track coaches, men and women. You got to manage the scholarships when you have 30-something kids, and in your case, you have what, 12, and women you have 18. I mean,
Right.
you got to figure out, well, this is a year to put a little more in sprints. This is a year to put more in distance. This is a year to put more in field events. I mean, it's a tough call, isn't it?
It's the $64,000 question every year is who do you commit with the money, and will they be the athlete you think they're going to be 2-3 years down the road? And that is, that's a hard prediction to make. And so I think he's done a great job, and I think Lance has too, of not only finding those blue chip kids, but also I think important at the University of Arkansas is finding those late bloomers. And I think those late bloomers are underestimated. And so it's not all about just getting a 5-star track athlete when they're a sophomore or junior. It's also being able to find, those late bloomers, and also be able to work the portal now. And that, that is a big part of it as well. Roster management, all those types of things. Our program, you combine it together, it's the size of the football team, and that in managing facilities and the coordination of all that. We travel a lot together, especially at the championship meets. We buy equipment together. We do all kinds of things. And so, he's had a great mentor to watch and look at. Lance has been phenomenal to work with on all those things. And, I think Arkansas should be the model for any, at least Power 5 program. The fact being that it's separated. The classrooms for women's track and men's track are smaller than one big tent, one big open auditorium. And so I think that's the reason why we've had success, is the fact that those kids, get a lot of individual attention because there's a separation. And I honestly believe in this day and age that the pendulum should swing the other way, and more programs should take example of what we're doing. You just built a phenomenal facility that was fundraised for both programs. Where the Franco Mara Center, or whether it's the Tyson Indoor, working as a team together like that. The sky's the limit. And yet, on the other hand, when we go out to practice, man, those classrooms are small. Those teaching classrooms are small, and I think it really helps the development of our kids, both on the men's and women's side. So there's a lot of great things going on right now here, commend Hunter for how he's handling it, and I think it'll be a great transition.
And when you got some old schools, they have one like track director over men's and women's. Well, he's got to favor something. Could be men's distance, could be women's distance, could be men's sprint, women's sprint. There's just no way he can. He's got to. Something's got to be his favorite.
It's a tough conundrum.
Yeah,
right.
It's
a conundrum, and I've done it. I was at Northern Iowa, where I was director of men's and women's for 10 years, and it is. It takes a lot of energy. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot you did both.
It's a time and effort is about the same.
Yeah.
But the energy level is through the roof because of the fact that you're trying to motivate, two different teams, and yet they're combined. And isn't that the way the world of track and field right now? It's just such a hybrid type of sport. When you look at, you get team championships, you get the SEC team championship, and then you qualify individually for the national championships, and you get the same thing, with how to run the program. It's, making sure they have their own identity, but yet, work together. So it's pretty hard. And so it takes a lot of energy to get that done, and been there, done that.
And it's like it's hard enough to take care of 3 kids on the men's or women's side. Make sure I take care of 6 kids on both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like the Brady Bunch or something.
it's yeah, it is.
Well, recruiting's so different. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you got,
The recruiting is so different, and the scholarship limits are so different, and the you talk about the different amounts of scholarship each athlete has, and I mean it's just a quagmire, right?
Yeah.
And so I really think not to. I shouldn't say anything about it, but I think Arkansas does it right.
No, I agree.
And
Both programs are successful.
I think it's
Year after year.
it should be the way of the future, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But happy for those guys, and we'll have all hands on deck on the men's side to help with the transition any way we can, because that's what I got, in 08 when I took over. The acceptance of me, the acceptance of my assistant coaches, the positive vibe of, hey, great pick, great job, and I can feel for Chris Johnson a little bit, because he's not taking over a play around program that has won, and I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And just that alone is gonna weigh on him. And we forget, Lance over the last 6 years, 5 years, have won 6 national championships. People forget all those years beforehand, when they won conference championships, but they were in the mix for national titles. They didn't, people didn't realize how good Lance Harter was back then and how good his programs were. They don't get the credit they deserve. It comes now because they've won the national titles and over the last couple of years, but they were good for
They were top 5 several times.
a long time.
But Lance will be the first one to tell you that what Chris did with the sprinters pushed them over the top.
Yeah, I mean, you get that one catalyst that handles the other part. I've sensed that a little bit too with those as good assistant coaches I've had that make all the difference in the world. And so, but I can feel for Chris, because there's going to be an expectation that'll be there that is not.
the first time they don't win the conference.
It's like, what's wrong?
And exponentially I can feel that my first cross country streak ended, right? But
You're okay since then.
yeah, I've always thought that was apropos.
10 titles. So
I thought it was apropos because it was truly John's accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it was supposed to happen that way.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose to me.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be the first, but I also figured that if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right now. Okay? Not a year later, not a two. Just get it over right now, and everybody knows that that's his freaking streak, and there's something beautiful about that. And then we'll start to do our own thing. So I just know that the kids are going to have emotions about it, and it's not going to be, it seems like, hey, it's going to be this smooth transition, but it's going to be work to have buy-in with the kids and pick coaches that they're going to have to pick and everything. And so we're going to be there for them to help. And I will be there as long as I'm not 6 feet under. I'll help out as much as I can.
What are you, 62?
The 65.
65, okay. So you look 62.
Yeah.
I'm 62.
I was going to wear a hat to get rid of my white hair.
No, man, it's good to have it all up there. I tell people it may be gray, but it's still there. That's what I tell people.
So anyway, but no, I appreciate you guys covering our program the way you do, and that this is what makes this school unique, is the fact that this isn't happening in a vacuum, that there's people that are interested, there are people that want us to win, and you guys do a great job of keeping that alive. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.